Hello, and welcome to my second book discussion video. Gonna switch it up from my last video and dive into a book that I really enjoyed, which is Mortal Kombat by Jeff Rovin. Hopefully this review helps you Mortal Kombat junkies who are waiting on the new movie or the new game to come out get your fix. Why did I choose this book? Primarily because I am a fan of all things Mortal Kombat. Admittedly, I am not a huge gamer, but Mortal Kombat has always appealed to me due to the wide cast of characters, interesting lore, and expanding universe. I have seen all the movies, cartoons, and played all the games, and have collected a lot of comic books. What's more, though, is many of my strongest friendships have been forged over a common interest in Mortal Kombat, and I've probably logged thousands of hours nerding out over Mortal Kombat with my buddies. There are so many entries into the expanded MK universe, and there are a lot of hits and a few misses. But for me, this book is a hit. The reason it is a hit is because it accomplished exactly what it set out to do, which is to set the stage for the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie. This book serves as a lore builder that I believe was intended to introduce a wider audience to the MK universe before the release of the movie. Perhaps the studio had some concerns that the primary audience of the game were a bunch of preteens who were hyperfixated on violence. It stands to reason that this book was to capture the interest of people who were actually old enough to afford a movie ticket, unlike myself, who was 5 years old at the time of its release. But if there's one movie I can recite word for word, it's the 95 movie, and that was thanks to the power of VHS. And thanks to this book, I recently got to explore an aspect of one of my all-time favorite movies and video game franchises that I missed on the first go-around. As for the book, I think Jeff Rovin was the perfect author to handle this. If you look at his resume, he does a lot of ghostwriting for Tom Clancy novels. But what made him a good fit for this is that he clearly had a respect for the lore and traditions of Chinese and Japanese cultures that Mortal Kombat borrows so heavily from. And he addresses that in the introduction to the book and eases the reader into some of those creative liberties. The plot of this book really shines in the first half, where we follow the ancestral Kung Lao in his 1,000-year journey as the champion of Mortal Kombat. I liked this because it focused on an obscure Mortal Kombat character that is frequently mentioned but rarely showcased in the games. Anyway, the tournament is what keeps the forces of Outworld at bay and prevents the sorcerer Shang Tsung from being able to invade Earthrealm. However, eventually the ancestral Kung Lao does fall in battle. Fast forward to the second half of the book, and Earthrealm is on the verge of losing its 10th and final Mortal Kombat. The second half of the book sees the joining of forces between Liu Kang and Sonya Blade and Kung Lao's descendant. Sadly, my favorite character, Johnny Cage, gets shafted and doesn't even get mentioned throughout the novel. He appears to be in some of the inside cover art, but no sign of him in the book. The second half of the book is a bit repetitive and really campy. It has fight scenes that are reminiscent of the input codes for performing certain moves in the game, and it's a funny touch, but these little skirmishes between Kano and his gang versus our heroes were frequent and unsatisfying, as they really are toned down from what you'd expect out of a franchise that lets you uppercut a guy's head off 3 times in a row somehow. But all in all, I had a blast reading this. I would say it's definitely not canon, but one of my favorite things about Mortal Kombat is that it's constantly reinventing itself. All of the entries in the MK universe can stand on their own and still be very welcomed additions to the Mortal Kombat library. I highly recommend this book for any MK fan, but those of you that enjoy the original movie or the Mortal Kombat Conquest TV series will probably enjoy this the most. Stay tuned for my next book review/discussion. And also be sure to check out the little cover song me and my kid do of the Mortal Kombat theme song. Thank you.